Hello, sports fans. We are ready for NFL picks for week number 11 in the league where they play. For pay! And let's get right to it. Coming off another spectacular week. That's 4 great weeks in a row for me. Let's keep it rolling. Let's start with pick number 1 for week 11. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -10 against the New York Giants. Kansas City 6-3 off a bye. Kansas City has not been playing well. Like to see them pick it up a little bit. They got off to such a hot start. They've fallen back a little bit, but they got the perfect opponent coming off a bye. The New York Football Giants, 1-8, lost to San Francisco, which is hard to do, and had no effort in the second half. To me, the Giant coach can go. The Giants have shown me absolutely nothing this year. No heart at all. Give the Niners at least credit. They showed up to play. The Giants did nothing in the second half. Awful performance by the Giants. This has been a total meltdown this year. Add in the injuries, the Giants have nothing. Chiefs off a bye, not playing well. Giants are made to order here. Kansas City all the way. This one should get ugly early. I like the Chiefs. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go to the dog-pounding Cleveland, with the Jacksonville Jaguars are -7.5 against the Cleveland Browns. When's the last time Jacksonville was 7.5 point favorite on the road? Are you kidding me? Browns 0-9, lost to Detroit, were in the game for 3 quarters, then fell apart in the 4th quarter. Jacksonville, how about them? 6-3, beat the Chargers, were down for much of this game, found a way to win. Chargers found a way to lose. We'll get to them later on. Jaguars doing a really nice job. We know the defense is very, very good. Listen, you gotta like Jacksonville here. You want to move the line down to 1.5 in a teaser to make you feel better about the game. I absolutely understand that, but you gotta like Jacksonville. How could you take Cleveland? They're 0-9. They lose every game. Jacksonville's got a good, solid defense. I cannot take the Browns. I will take Jacksonville. Probably play them in a teaser. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go out to Los Angeles, where the LA Chargers are -4 against the Buffalo Bills. Chargers are 3-6. Rivers is in concussion protocol right now. We'll see if he plays. Chargers lost to Jacksonville. It's mind-boggling to me. The Chargers, week after week, year after year, find new and creative ways to lose a game. They're the only team in the NFL that can have an interception, with less than 2 minutes to go. They're up, and they find a way to lose. It's just incredible how bad the Chargers are. They just find ways to lose all the time. They're in all these games. They're all close. They find a way to lose most of them. So another awful, atrocious loss for the Chargers. Buffalo, down to 5-4. What's going on with the Bills? They got obliterated by the Saints. I mean, obliterated. What was it, 47-10? Bills got run over. That's 2 bad performances in a row by the Bills. Remember, they lost to the Jets the week before. What happened to this Bills' great defense? The Jets carved them up. The Saints carved them up. Where's this great Bills defense? I mean, remember the beginning of the year? Everyone was saying, oh, the Bills' defense is great. This is an awesome defense. Where has it been the last 2 weeks? They've shown me nothing the last 2 weeks. And here you go. They're 5-4, and they're dipping back now. Buffalo's got to respond here this week. I am going to move the line to 10 and take Buffalo in a teaser for a couple of reasons. The Chargers are always in close games. Rivers may or may not play. And Buffalo, now this is about pride now. 2 bad performances in a row. That defense has to show some pride this week. I think they will. I think they can cover at least the 10. I think this game will be close. Most of the Charger games are, like I said. I'll take the Bills with 10. I don't love it all that much the way the Bills have played. Show me some pride this week, Buffalo. You've shown me nothing the last 2 weeks. I'll take Buffalo plus 10 in a teaser. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Detroit Lions are -3 against the Chicago Bears. Detroit up to 5-4. Like I said, they beat Cleveland, pulled away in the 4th quarter. Detroit definitely had to have that game. Chicago 3-6, lost to Green Bay at home. I was a little surprised about that. I threw that game out last week. I thought Chicago would have a little better effort. I wasn't impressed by the way Chicago played. They're a very strange team. Remember, they have a rookie quarterback. This is a very strange game. I think Detroit is better for sure, but I am going to take Chicago +9 in a teaser at home. Chicago has been in most of their games at home. They've won a few of them. They've been close most of the way. Even last week, they only lost by 7, despite not playing well at all. I think they can hang in the game. They're home again. I think they'll definitely at least hang in the game with Detroit. Detroit probably pulls it out by a few points, but I'll take Chicago. I like the 9. I like the home field, so I'll take a chance with the Bears there. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go to Minnesota. We got a real Donnybrook of a game here with Minnesota Vikings a -2.5 against the LA Rams. Rams up to 7-2, obliterated Houston. The Rams are incredible this year. What a turnaround from last year. What an absolutely great job by the LA Rams. Nobody thought they'd be this good. Same thing goes for the Minnesota Vikings. 7-2, beat Washington. Keenum is doing a great job despite all the injuries. No Bradford. Bridgewater was hurt. Keenum has really come alive. He's playing well. They lose their big running back, Minnesota. They've overcome that. The defense is playing well. They did let Washington score some points this week, but the offense was cooking. Minnesota, just like the Rams, doing a fabulous job. I love what both teams are doing this year. Both teams have to be considered a surprise. This is a tremendous game. It's must-watch football. This is one of the better games on Sunday. I could go either way on this game. But I will go Minnesota here. Home field, I think they're going to get after it on defense. I think the Rams are undefeated on the road. I think they're due for a road loss. Got to travel all the way across the country. I'm going to go Minnesota by 3 here. If you like the Rams, couldn't argue with you. It's that close. But I'll take Minnesota at home. Defense gets after them in the dome. I think that dome will be cooking this week. Those fans will be rowdy. Minnesota ekes it out. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6, let's go down to Miami. Bags of packed trip right here. The Miami Dolphins are -3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Miami down to 4-5, lost to Carolina, played an awful second half, showed no life in the second half, got just blown out in the second half. It's amazing, Miami, the way they played some of these games, that they actually have 4 wins. Tampa Bay, they actually got a win. 3-6, beat the Jets without Winston. Winston is still out this week. Evans will be back. Boy, what a terrible job by the Jets. We'll get to them. But Tampa Bay did get a win. This is an awful football game. This is the makeup game from week 1 where it had to be canceled because of the hurricane. Miami -3 against Tampa. I'll go with Miami. I don't trust Tampa Bay. Despite them winning last week, Winston is still out. I don't like them, going on the road and winning again. I don't love this game. If you bet this game, bet it light. I will take Miami. It's an awful game, though. My bags are packed. Pick number 7. Let's go to Seattle. Another very good game here, with the Seattle Seahawks a -3 against the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle 6-3 beat Arizona on Thursday Night Football. They do lose Sherman for the year with the Achilles injury. Atlanta 5-4 beat Dallas. That was a must win for Atlanta. They had to have it, especially with Elliott being out for Dallas. As soon as Elliott was suspended, I bet Atlanta heavy. Paid off for me. I thought Atlanta would respond without Elliott. They did, so that was an important win for Atlanta. They have some injuries as well. Running back might not play with a concussion. I'm going to move the line to 9, and I'm going to take the Falcons. These teams have played a lot the last few years. Games have been close. Seattle, they're always in close games. Sometimes they don't, fire on offense, So I think this game will be close. So I like Atlanta here with the 9, especially with Sherman being out on that defense for Seattle. Game could go either way. It's an impossible game to pick straight up. So I'll take Atlanta with 9 and feel comfortable that way. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go down to Big Easy. New Orleans. Who dat? With the New Orleans Saints a -7.5 against the Washington Redskins. Washington 4-5, lost to Minnesota as their defense got carved up in this game. Put up some points, but the defense just let up too many. New Orleans, how about them? 7-2. They've won 7 in a row. They go into Buffalo and just obliterate the Buffalo Bills 47-10. Who thought the Saints would be this good? They started the year 0-2, blown out by Minnesota, blown out by New England. Looked like the same old Saint defense to me. They have completely turned it around. The Saints can move the ball. They got Drew Brees. How about this defense? Who thought this defense was going to be any good? I mean, they look really good. The Saints 7 in a row. Nobody thought they'd be this good. Got to give the Saints all sorts of credit. They'll be partying in the Superdome this week. Some of the best fans in all of the NFL down there. I'm going to move the line to 1.5, and I got to take the Saints. Washington still cannot get out of their own way. Still have a ton of injuries. It's the same old Washington. Up and down, up and down. You're going to look up. They're going to be 8-8. I said that in week 1. I'll take the Saints. Move it down to 1.5 in a teaser. I like it that way. I'll take the Saints as pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go to Mexico City, of course. We're not talking soccer. We're talking NFL football. We're not in London this week. We're over in Mexico City. Next week, who knows where we might be. We may be over in Australia. New England Patriots -6 against the Oakland Raiders. Oakland 4-5 off a bye. How about New England? 7-2. Obliterated Denver. You look up, and there's New England again in first place in the East. One of the best records in the conference, one of the best records in football. They've somehow figured it out on defense with all these guys out. You know, the offense is cooking even with Edelman out. You know, they could score 1 billion points. Brady is ageless. How good is this guy, Brady? Listen, I don't care what fan you are, and I'm not a New England Patriot fan. I don't care what team you are. You have to respect New England, and you have to respect Tom Brady. This guy is 40 years old. He looks like he has not missed a step. How good is Belichick plugging these holes? You have to admire what New England does year after year, and no one works harder than Tom Brady. No one works harder than him. They do such a great job, so you have to respect New England, even if you're not a fan of them. This game, listen, I usually don't play the London games. I usually don't play the Mexico games. I'm going to play this game over. I believe the over and under is 49. I think it's around there. Both of these teams can light up the scoreboard. This should be an absolute shootout, so I'm going to play the game that way myself. I'm going to play the game over. I'm not going to pick the game any other way. Now, my mailman, who I was talking to yesterday, he's a big Oakland Raider fan, and I asked him, I said, what do you think of this game, New England 6 over Oakland down in Mexico? He said, I like Oakland with the 6 points. Both teams will score. I think it'll be close. He goes, there's going to be a lot of Raider fans down there. Interesting to see the dynamic there. How many Raider fans, how many Patriot fans? Should be more Raider fans, I think. So he told me Raiders would cover the 6. He said even in a teaser, plus 12, he'd love the Raiders. So my mailman, he's going Raiders plus 6, and he would take him Raiders plus 12. That's what he says. Me personally, I'm playing the game over. I'm staying away from everything else. That's what my mailman says. Take it for what it's worth. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go to the Big D in Dallas. An NFC East clash with the Philadelphia Eagles, a -3 against the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles 8-1 off a bye. Has anyone done a better job than the Philadelphia Eagles this year? They look like a legitimate Super Bowl contender, even though it's only Wentz's second year. They are doing a tremendous job. Philadelphia, so impressed with them. Dallas 5-4, lost to Atlanta. Listen, they lost Elliott. Elliott is now suspended. You got to see what Dallas is going to bring to the table here without Elliott. They didn't look good at all last week, Dallas. Their offensive line got chewed up by the Falcons. The Falcons' defensive front was awesome last week. Set records for sacks. They were all over Prescott. So Atlanta, their pass rush was awesome. Dallas' offensive line was not good at all. No Elliott. You got to see how Dallas plays without Elliott. So far, not good. They didn't look good at all last week. And you got Jerry Jones going off after the game. I mean, do we need to hear any more of Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones, pipe down. I don't want to hear any more of you. I am going to take Philadelphia. They're coming off a bye. They could do no wrong this year so far. And Dallas without Elliott looked a little shaky. They're going to have to show me they can win without Elliott. Listen, these NFC East games are always great. They're always close. I think I'm going to go Philadelphia by about 4 points in this game. It's a very tough game. I would bet this game very light. This is a game I'd sit back and enjoy. Listen, is it impossible Dallas wins? Absolutely not. Dallas can win this game at home. But I'm going to lean towards Philly. Very tough game. I'll bet it light. It's another must-watch game. I want to see if Dallas can win without Elliott. And I want to see that offensive line play better. They got chewed up last week. Philly, pick number 10. Pick number 11, I'll go to the Thursday night game, even though I can't stand it. You know, I can't stand Thursday night football, I should say. This Thursday night game is actually pretty decent. The Pittsburgh Steelers at home, -7 against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee up to 6-3, pulled it out against Cincinnati, scored late to do it. Tennessee has not been all that impressive this year, but they are finding ways to win, and they are 6-3. They are in first place. Give them credit for that. Pittsburgh 7-2. They were very sloppy again on the road. They fell way behind Indianapolis, came back, rallied to win. That's what scares you about the Steelers. They play very, very sloppy on the road. It's going to be very interesting to see if the Steelers can hang on to that top spot in the AFC. They do, I believe, play New England this year as well during the regular season. That's very important. If Pittsburgh can get home field advantage, that would be such a big deal for them, as opposed to having New England have a home field advantage and say Pittsburgh goes to New England in the playoffs where they never win. So this race for home field, very important. I'm going to move the line down to 1, and I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. Road teams have a definite disadvantage on Thursday Night Football. Tennessee's got to travel on Wednesday. They're in a game Thursday. Pittsburgh's usually very good at home. I'll take Pittsburgh -1 in a teaser. I think they have enough to win at home, so I'll take the Steelers there. It's pick number 11. And one more pick I will go to. I'll pick this game even though I don't love it. Baltimore -2.5 against Green Bay at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Baltimore 4-5 off a bye. Green Bay 5-4 beat Chicago. Remember, no Rodgers. Now the backup has an injury. We'll see about him. If the backup plays, I'm going to move the line to 8.5 and take Green Bay, just because on general principle, I don't think Baltimore can blow anyone out on the road. And Green Bay, you know, they did find a way to win last week. They did beat Chicago on the road, so give them credit for that. So I'm going to lean towards Green Bay in a teaser, +8.5 if the backup quarterback plays. He's questionable right now. I cannot take Baltimore under any circumstances. Certainly, I do not like them giving 8.5. So I'll take Green Bay there in a teaser. That's pick number 12. I'm going to throw out a couple games here. Denver at home -2.5 against Cincinnati is a definite throwout. Cincinnati's 3-6, lost to Tennessee. Denver's 3-6, got obliterated by New England. What happened to that Denver defense? Osweiler is the quarterback. That's all you know. That's all you need to know about the offense. Simeon was bad. Lynch is not ready. I mean, they are an absolute disaster on offense, Denver. Remember when they played Dallas? What was that, week 2 or 3 or something? Remember when they looked so great? That seems like eons ago. This Denver team is falling apart. Where's the defense been? That's a throwout. And Arizona -1.5 at Houston. That's a definite throwout. Arizona 4-5 lost to Seattle. They got all sorts of quarterback injuries as well. Houston 3-6 lost to the Rams. We know with no Watson, they're going to have trouble. They got injuries all over the place. This is the walking wounded game. I mean, come on. I don't know how you get a feel for that game. That's a throwout. Then 4 teams with a bye. Colts 3-7. They have a bye. Lost to Pittsburgh. Luck, what's going on with him? He's going to miss this year. I hear rumblings this could be a very serious injury where this could be career-threatening. Colts say no, but you got to be worried. Luck's missed the whole season now. Jets 4-6 lost to Tampa Bay. That was an awful loss by the Jets. This was the Jet performance I thought I'd have the whole year. The Jets have actually been very competitive. I thought they would beat Tampa and go to 5-5. They were atrocious, especially on offense. They could not score a touchdown until 20 seconds left in the game against a Tampa Bay team that was a dead carcass. That was the Jet team I thought we were going to see most of this year. That was a very disappointing loss by the Jets. San Francisco 1-9 beat the Giants. Give the Niners credit. They continue to play hard despite the 1-9 record. They outplayed the Giants, out-hustled them in the second half. That was good to see by the Niners. Carolina 7-3. They're on a bye. They beat Miami. Cam Newton looks like he's having a ball out there now. They finally got that running game cooking with Stewart last night. Carolina's a good, solid team. That division is very good. Saints, Carolina, and Atlanta all battling it out. So Carolina off a bye. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. I have had 4 spectacular weeks in a row. I am on absolute fire. Feels a lot like last year. We'll try and keep it up. By the way, we're flying through the NFL season. Week 11 already. Speaking of flying through the season, college football is almost over. Do you realize on Thanksgiving all the rivalry games are played, which is next week, and then you get into your conference championships and your bowl games after that? Where did the college football season go? I mean, I feel like we were just in Labor Day. Here you go, and 2 months later, the season's over already. Where did college football go? Last week, Miami just destroyed Notre Dame. Miami, great job by them. Oklahoma beat TCU. Alabama beat Mississippi State. How about Auburn beating Georgia? Auburn's been playing well. Wisconsin's still undefeated. Central Florida's a nice story. They're still undefeated. This week's games, College Game Day is in Madison, Wisconsin. Michigan's the big day. It's an awful week in college football. The big game is Wisconsin-Michigan. Michigan's got a couple losses. There's nothing else other than that. And I think that's a 12 noon game. There is not much going on. I like rivalry games. You got a couple this week, USC, UCLA, Stanford, Cal, but they're not great games. They're for the real purists like me that loves rivalry games. Not a great week in college football. I mean, Wisconsin, Michigan's the big game. As far as the college football playoff, listen, it's coming down to the wire. You got to think the winner, Alabama, Georgia, in that SEC title game is going to get one bid. Miami, Clemson will be another. Oklahoma's in the driver's seat. If Wisconsin goes undefeated, you got to figure they're there. Interesting to see if Wisconsin loses, who's going to be that other team. A lot of teams with 2 losses. It's going to be tough. I don't know. Even Auburn. Say Auburn beats Alabama. But Auburn, I think, won't even make the SEC title game because they got 2 losses. But what do you do with Auburn? Auburn could get into that Final Four if things break right despite not winning the SEC. So it's going to be very interesting coming down the home stretch of college football. So there you go. How about one quick note? How about Italy and soccer not making the World Cup? Are you kidding me? Italy ties yesterday 0-0. They lose on aggregate to Sweden 1-0. Italy couldn't get a goal at home. Italy not in the World Cup for the first time since 1958. So no Italy, no United States, no Netherlands, no China, no Chile, I should say. Ghana, I don't think, made it. You got some big clubs that are usually in the World Cup that did not make it. That is a stunner that Italy didn't make the World Cup. What else we got? You know, your NBA and NHL season go on for absolute ever. I mean, it's just ridiculous how long the NBA and NHL seasons are. College basketball started, by the way. Good to have college basketball back, although you don't really get into college basketball to the end when we're starting to get to March Madness. We got some big games tonight, though. We got Duke, Michigan State, Kansas, Kentucky. So those are some good games. I've been to those games in the past, and what I noticed is because they're early in the season, the games are very choppy, very sloppy. You got a lot of freshmen out there, so don't expect crisp basketball tonight, despite the matchups. Could be a lot of sloppy play. I've been to those games at the Garden. You know, these teams do a round robin every year. Games are usually choppy. Games are usually sloppy because you got a lot of freshmen start of the year. Kentucky hasn't looked good at all so far this year. Only 2 games in. All sorts of time for college basketball, but it's good to have it back. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You guys, thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Enjoy the games. I'll be back next Tuesday. Take care.